The cuckoo lays its eggs in the nests of other birds, and then these other birds, not realising that it's a cuckoo egg, care for the egg as one of their own. It's very sly. But as a parallel to my situation, this had its weaknesses. For example, when born, the cuckoo's first action is often to kill all of its unborn brothers and sisters. This way it will gain the undivided attention of its adopted parents. And thinking about it, I wasn't sure that even Giles's offspring would be capable of such viciousness. An even more fundamental problem with this parallel was that the reproductive competition I was facing was from within my species, not without. Reading through some Dawkins, I was reminded that one of the most successful reproductive strategies available to a female involves not one male but two. Let me explain. If the female only reproduces with a promiscuous male, he will not hang around to share his part of the burden of raising the child, and with the mother raising it alone, the child has less chance of surviving till adulthood, living as we do in a competitive world both full of predators and short on food. If the offspring does not reach adulthood, it has been a complete waste of one of the female's limited opportunities to reproduce. However, if the female reproduces with a monogamous male, that male will stick around providing double the food and double the security, therefore greatly increasing the chances of their child surviving to adulthood. So far so good. But after this, the strategy then starts to show its flaws. The child of the monogamous male is also likely to be monogamous. This means that while the female's genes are spread on, it's at a very low rate. In a competitive environment in the longer term, they are highly at risk, and even if surviving will become heavily diluted. This is partly because the promiscuous male is already pursuing a highly competitive strategy. Though any offspring that he fathers will only have a limited chance of successfully making it to adulthood, unlike a female, he can mate often and with many partners, and those offspring that do survive will tend to be promiscuous like he is. Carry this over a few generations and suddenly his genes are doing incredibly well. But for females, who with the burden of producing eggs can only reproduce periodically, mating with a promiscuous male is still a huge risk, unless she can be impregnated by a promiscuous male and then trick a monogamous male into thinking that the offspring is his own. Then she gets both the security of the burden being shared and the hyperproductive offspring. It's a massively successful strategy. But what happens to the genes of the loyal male? They are stopped dead. Luckily for us monogamous males, natural selection doesn't create fools, and we have developed ways to protect ourselves. For example, when a male tiger finds a new female, before he will mate, he waits around to ensure she's not already pregnant by another male. Then he eats any offspring that are hanging around because he doesn't want his partner wasting time on cubs who are not carrying his genes. Only now, with his fatherhood of the entire litter guaranteed, will he begin to reproduce with her. As an inspiration for me, I must say this seemed a little extreme. However, when a female mouse sets up home with a new male, she auto-aborts any fetuses made by previous males. That way she doesn't waste energy incubating pups who would not be accepted by her new partner. This seemed like a more useful and humane precedent. But you have to understand, they were trying to annihilate my genes. It was worse than murdering me. I'm just a mere vessel. They'd be killing my entire legacy and that of my parents. Now, I know Sarah didn't plan it this way, and possibly he didn't either, but at some fundamental level this is what they were doing. And I wasn't going to be some cook-old bird raising another cock's eggs. Even most of the cuckoo's victims have learnt by now what to do with a cuckoo egg. But you know,